White House Correspondents Dinner was over the weekend. If you don't know what the White House Correspondents Dinner is, it's essentially, they call it nerd prom. All the reporters who report on the White House and a bunch of tangentially related media figures all come together in the Hilton in Washington, D.C., and they always give out scholarships and stuff, but the one thing anyone talks about is they hire a comedian to tell jokes. It's gone well, it's gone poorly over the years. This time, apparently, it has kicked up quite a stink. Michelle Wolf was a comedian. She has kind of a nasally voice, and she's, in 2017, The Village Voice called her the voice comedy needs right now, where it's a no-holds-barred look at politics and feminism and everything. You can watch her special on Netflix. Here is what one of the jokes was. We are graced with Sarah Huckabee Sanders' presence tonight. I have to say, I'm a little starstruck. I love you as Aunt Lydia in The Handmaid's Tale. That's the one that runs all the handmaids and supervises their terrible. So then it says, Mike Pence, if you haven't seen it, you would love it. It's pretty great. All right, we're gonna go through more things like this. There was a big backlash, however, from everyone within the White House correspondent circles. There was the head of the White House, President Margaret Tlaib, wrote this thing kind of distancing herself from Wolf. So what are our thoughts on this? 5 words or less.
The media cries wolf.
Nice.
She wasn't lying.
Read them for filth. Dead.
Everyone sucks but the comedian. That is my takeaway from this whole thing. Everyone involved in the White House Correspondents Dinner. I was just talking to Hassan Piker out there. He went and did counter-programming with people on the Young Turks. And counter-programming is the right answer because the White House Correspondents Dinner is stupid. What do you think about this, Grace? You're a comedian.
Oh my gosh, I thought Michelle Wolf did great. I listened to her. Her segment or her speech, her roast.
Her monologue.
Her roast. 3 times. The first time before any controversy had hit. The second time after the controversy had hit, and then the third time with my fiance, who is so sensitive. I just didn't really prime her for anything, just to see if she was offended on anything. And I came away sort of the same way that you are, Brett, right now, which is like, she didn't make a disparaging remark about Sarah Huckabee Sanders' appearance. What the hell why is this the narrative that people are pushing? She talks about her smoky eye with Ash and that Aunt Lydia. If you don't like that, then maybe you don't like Margot Martindale, who's the actress.
It's not Margot Martindale.
Who is it? Is it the actress?
It's the other one that's not Margot Martindale. That everyone confuses her for Margot Martindale.
You're that person.
Let's just go through these Sarah Huckabee Sanders jokes real quick. Every time Sarah steps up to the podium, I get excited because I'm not really sure what we're gonna get. You know, a press briefing, a bunch of lies, or divided into softball teams. It's shirts and skins, and this time, don't be such a little bitch, Jim Acosta. Jim Acosta's a CNN reporter who's, I watch a lot of White House things. And then here's the final one. I actually really like Sarah. I think she's very successful. She burns, resourceful. She burns facts, and then she uses that ash to create a perfect smoky eye. Like maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's lies.
It's probably lies.
It's probably lies.
Is this did she go in harder on anyone than we've seen in past White House court? Like that's I went through and watched other ones.
It's like the most controversial since Stephen Colbert's, which was in 2006.
Yeah, George W.
Yeah, 2006.
But like, why do they hire a comedian if they don't want people to be roasted? I don't get it. Like, what kind of jokes would you tell at a White House Correspondents Dinner?
Or do they not audit her material before she went out there?
There's no stipulations. Like, she can say pretty much whatever she wants without censoring, and they don't get like a preview of it. So what really do you expect?
I thought it was phenomenal. I thought her Kellyanne Conway was just as good. All the pussy jokes were fantastic. There's not a peaceful time to protest. Michelle Wolf used her art and her creativity to protest and to let her voice be heard. And she was lucky that she was in a forum such as the Correspondents' Dinner to do that.
I think that people didn't like her because she really called everyone out. Sometimes you had a comedian that felt like they were pretty punching the Republicans specifically, and they focused pretty much on a party that they wanted to knock out. And I think Michelle Wolf really hit every single media outlet. She talked about Morning Joe, CNN,
C-SPAN,
Fox and Friends.
Yeah, C-SPAN, Fox and Friends. I love that joke. Like, I'd like to phone a Fox and Friend. But then I also think that some of her most, her non-jokes were the things that people are getting the most upset about, where she was like, you created Trump, and now you're all profiting from him. And I think people got really uncomfortable with that sort of, like, that's a hard truth, but it's true.
Sean Spicer tweeted, and I actually responded to his tweet. He was like, it was despicable. And I was like, Sean, you're pissed because she didn't bring you up. You know, he was the only person she didn't talk about. But you make a great point too. I imagine myself sitting there thinking, how would I feel? Would I have felt uncomfortable being called out? Yeah, a little bit I would. But at the same time though, everything she said was true. And she also got Flint in there at the end.
That's it. That's the big thing. At the end, she says, thanks everybody, that's my time. Also, Flint doesn't have water. So at the end of all these jokes, it was a masterful move. They still don't have clean water in Flint. And a lot of the people who are making fun of the criticism that Michelle Wolf got point to that moment. Where it's like, A, you hired a comedian who had a voice pre-existing. You assumed that your artifice of nerd prom would essentially scare Michelle Wolf out of punching you too hard in the mouth or telling the truth. That is on you for, as Daron said, not censoring her. And then you're like, I'm shocked. But at the end, the media, who has the power to cover stuff like Flint, has, benefited off this monster creation of Trump and then doesn't focus on the issues. Then they then spend, a lot of these criticisms are like, no one's addressing the Flint water crisis. They're just going after Michelle Wolf.